guys, it's Hannah. Today I am going to be talking about chazown and my experience with chazown. If you guys follow my blog, then you will have seen my May favorites, and in the May favorites I did include chazown, the very last thing I mentioned actually, and it did happen on the last weekend of May, and so I wanted to include it in the May favorites, but I knew that there was no way that I could fully and adequately explain what chazown was and that entire experience. Like, I could not explain all of that in just one paragraph on that favorites blog. So I did want to follow up and kind of do a blog, which it's more of a vlog because this is a video, but I did want to do a video, kind of an update about that entire experience and what it meant to me. So let's get started. There's kind of two answers to the question. It's twofold. The first part would be, it is a Hebrew word and it means vision, passion, purpose. It's around that neighborhood there. So that's what it is in short. The second part of it would be, it's an experience. It's an experience that's offered at Life Church, and we'll get into that more probably toward the end of the video, but it's an experience that's offered that it helps you find that chazown. If I told you that I could help you find your passion, find the purpose for your life, if I had that, I could give it to you, would you want to know it? You probably would. I know that I do, so I really wanted to go. But here's the thing, is whenever you discover your passion, or if you discover your purpose, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. So honestly, like I said, I've wanted to go to this experience that's offered at church for almost 2 years now. So I feel like you guys may be wondering, why did it take you this long to go? And so honestly, like, one of the main reasons is that I was kind of just nervous and scared because, you know, to find your purpose and to find what it is that drives you, you do have to look into your past and you do have to look into your present to kind of see where you're going in the future. And so that kind of made me nervous. And also kind of like Spider-Man, if any of you guys are fans, but on Spider-Man, the Uncle Ben, he says, you know, with great power comes great responsibility, or something like that. I think that's on Spider-Man. But anyway, so I feel like that's accurate though in this scenario. So as soon as you know kind of what God has for you, you kind of have to step into that, and it's on you now. The ball is in your court. So it did kind of intimidate me, and it did scare me for a while because it just made me nervous. You pay, I think it's $20 to go. But you do get stuff from God. You get 2 different books, and then you get a shirt. But you get this book, and this basically like walks you through the process of finding your chazown. And so everything that you go over that day is going to be in this little book here. And then you also get this, and it looks exactly the same, but this opens up, and this is like the hands-on section kind of, and this is going to be your timeline. And so this is the timeline for your entire life. And then you also get this shirt here. So that's the things that you get from the one of the first things that you're going to do is you put your timeline together, which is the long thing that I showed you guys with the post-it notes and all that. And the way that that basically works is they say every experience or person or significant day, or, you know, anything that is significant to your life, if it pops up in your head, write it down on a yellow post-it note. You know, it can be someone's name, like I said, a date, a place, something like that, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Just write everything down. And so at that point we go writing like a madman. I'm just like writing, taking the post-it off, writing another one, put a post-it. So then you do all that. You organize it onto your timeline. So you do it in chronological order of the events that happened. And you can kind of see it. You'll go back, and I think it's technically pink post-it notes, but I used red. That's what we had. So with the red post-it notes is you're gonna, based on all of the yellow events in your life, you're gonna use the red to signify the bad memories. the memories that were particularly painful make sense. So you'll know when you're writing them down. So those moments, the ones that really sucked, you'll do in red. So you'll replace the yellow one and you'll put a red one. It says the same thing that the yellow one did, but you're just replacing it to kind of show you, so it kind of stands out, the good and then the bad. Then you're going to have blue Post-it notes on the top, and you can see them up on the top of mine here, here, and here. And these are going to be your chapters. So the chapters are going to kind of just organize a little bit. Mine were not very detailed. Like I have growing up, and then I have new seasons. And so you can just divide up your life in chapters the best that you can. And then lastly, you're going to have green, and you can't even tell the difference, but green is on the bottom, and the green Post-it notes on the bottom. But whatever it is that you learned from that, you can write it in green on the green notes on the very bottom. And so that's how you complete your timeline. And honestly, the timeline I feel takes the most time in your day of chazown. It takes the longest time, but it's so therapeutic, honestly, because I feel like whenever you have to look back at your life and think about the really good times, but you also have to think about the really bad times, it really makes you think about it. But the goal is for you to see how that created you and shifted your life in a different direction. Maybe it gave you new passions in life. Maybe it made you more aware of something. Maybe it caused something that really was bad in your life. Maybe now you can use that to help someone else, or it helps you see the positive. Even when you go through horrible things, typically it's important that we learn from them. And so whatever it is that we learn from them, that's what we're taking away from the timeline. They start you with the past experiences, which is your timeline, and then we go to your core values and your spiritual gifts. So for that, basically you pick out the values. I actually took the class with Hillary and my mom, and so what we kind of checked through what we thought we were, and then we kind of did like a dual control type thing, and we had I had my mom and I had my sister look over and be like, okay, these are the ones that I see myself as. Can you kind of go over it, and like the ones that really stick out that are true, can you kind of like circle them or mark them or something like that to kind of get confirmation that yeah, that's good. And to find your spiritual gifts, there's a section for that as well, and it has like a list of everything, the different sections of your spiritual gifts. Just to read off one, the gift of adapting, and it says responding to the demands of the moment even if they affect your plans. So on the gift of adapting, I put a big fat X right here because I knew that was not me. So sometimes it's easier to see all the things that are not you, and then you can kind of go from there. So once you find your main spiritual gifts, so once you do get your 3 circles and you see where they overlap, then you can kind of move on to the next part of the process, which is when you create your purpose statement. And so your purpose statement, it says, looking at your past experiences, your core values, and your gifts and abilities, do you see where they overlap? What do they have in common? My chazown is to promote courage and freedom and reveal hope to those who only see darkness by providing relief to those in crisis and to those who cannot provide for themselves. And I got this chazown essentially just by looking at the past and looking at, the situations in my life and how that drove me, how that kind of took me in a certain direction that I might not necessarily have seen myself going. So there was a season in my life that it was just really hard, and the best way I can describe it is cold. It was just like cold and dark. And looking back, like I see all the red Post-its on my timeline, but when I look at the green on the bottom, what I got from that is that it's never too late for beautiful things. No matter how hopeless or how dark or how cold or any of that, no matter how how dark it gets, something that I learned from my own experiences is that it's never too late for beautiful things. And so that tied into my chazown. My own story, my own sorrows, my own pain, tied into something that's extremely, I'm extremely passionate about. And then also just providing relief for those in crisis and providing, helping people that can't provide for themselves. I also do see a lot of that in my passions before I took the class, before I took chazown. Like, some of you guys who know me, you know that I am extremely passionate in the fight against human trafficking, and I feel like this chazown points right toward that. So honestly, seeing it so laid out, charted out, in my life, and the different things that got me where I am now, to me it's just beautiful that you can see that even in your pain and even in the really crappy situations in life, that molds you into who you are today. And you can use that to really just kind of drive you into your future, and into a future that can not only be self-fulfilling, but also to where you can help other people. I would recommend that everybody take this class. I think that we all have had a past that has been great but has been hard. And so I feel like this process, it gives you the opportunity really to dig deep into your experiences that you've had in life, good and bad. And I know this experience, it helps you process things that maybe you haven't dealt with. Maybe you haven't, given thought to why, what have you learned from certain seasons in life? Like, maybe there was a really bad season in your life and you just never wanted to deal with it, and you never wanted to think about it. But even then, there's something that you can get from that. So I encourage you guys to take this class. It's so good, and honestly, one of my biggest fears was that they were going to make me talk. They were going to make me talk about my feelings, and they're going to make me cry, and they're going to make me upset because we're going to have to talk about our past and the bad things that have happened and the bad things we've done. And it wasn't like that at all. It wasn't like it at all. And honestly, even if you don't like talking in front of people, you don't like sharing your heart, you're going to love this class, because it makes you see things in yourself that you never saw before. And honestly, I feel like I know myself a little bit better than I did before the class. So, with that said, I encourage you guys to please try to go to a chazown experience. Life Church offers different chazown experiences throughout the year. Basically, the way that you can find them is if you follow Facebook or Twitter, or probably even Instagram if you follow Life Church on there. All the different locations of Life Church, they have their own different page. So if you go to the Edmond campus, go to the Life Church Edmond Facebook page and follow them, and they'll be posting about when their next chazown class is. So just keep an eye out for these classes. They come out, like I said, I think they're $20 when they do come out, and you get all this stuff. You get your t-shirt, you get the books that you need, and honestly, you get an experience that can change your life. So, and I know that's so cheesy, but really, it'll really open your eyes to see things that you never saw before. For those of you who stuck around to the end of the video, I know that I talked a lot, and for those of you that know me, you already know that that's not a surprise at all. But I would really like to hear what you think about it. So, I mean, can you see yourself going to a chazown class in the future? Do you think that that's something you'd like to do? Are you like me and it's kind of intimidating and scary at first? Maybe that doesn't scare you at all, and that's good. But whatever it is that you guys think, you can let me know in the comments below or somewhere. you know, on the blog or on my Facebook or whatever. I would like to hear what you guys think about it. So thank you guys for letting me into your world for a few minutes, for a long, probably long few minutes. But thanks. Bye.